Cabrera is our Roman-style trattoria featuring Colorado's best farmers and ranchers in an all-Italian format.
We're really on the edge of Uptown, bordering of Five Points, Curtis Park area. We have lots of people living around here. We have apartment buildings, we have houses.
To say that the last year plus has been a roller coaster would be an understatement. It's been all the emotions and then some, and probably all the emotions 2 or 3 times over. We were forced to shut down in March of 2020. We did the only thing that we really could have done at the time, which was lay off all of our employees, including ourselves. We didn't really know what the future had held. For the most part, we were doing those conversations face to face, and that was difficult. It was gut-wrenching, to be honest with you.
Restaurateurs are generally a very resilient group of people.
We went with a team that everybody did everything. So everyone bartended, everybody served, everybody was a busser in the front of the house, and same thing in the kitchen. So between our two restaurants, we laid off just over 50. I believe it was 18 that we brought back.
Our restaurants are built for you to be experiencing them within our walls. The pivot to takeout was something that, frankly, we weren't really equipped for. We don't really do takeout. So right before Thanksgiving, the governor and the mayor issued another restaurant shutdown. So here we are again, laying off employees. Right before Christmas, we made the decision to actually hibernate for the winter. To be honest with you, our sales were terrible, and we were losing lots of money every single week.
Over the last year, the two biggest things that restaurants told us they need was cash and capacity. So luckily, we're starting to see capacity restrictions lifted. So that's good news. The other thing we're seeing is the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. We've been lobbying for more than a year with the National Restaurant Association and other partners at the national level to get restaurant-specific funding to support this industry.
Once the weather improved, dining was back open, and the vaccine was starting to roll out. Luckily, the stars aligned and all that happened here towards the end of March, beginning of April.
It has exceeded our expectations. We opened up with one thing in mind, and I would tell you that the demand of guests coming back out is fantastic.
As of about a month ago, restaurants were still telling us on average they were down about 40% year over year.
I've heard light at the end of the tunnel a few times. I would almost say it's more like a lighthouse on a rocky shore that's appeared for us.
One of the things that we've experienced reopening is that we don't have enough people to actually open all of the areas. We are still looking for front of the house employees plus back of the house employees to really get up and running to the full capacity restricted areas.
It's really hard to find 4 people right now. And we're hearing that from other restaurant colleagues here in Denver, but we have restaurant friends across the country, in Seattle, in Atlanta, in Asheville, North Carolina, and they're all saying the same thing.
This is our next big issue that we're trying to grapple with. And I think that that's being caused by a couple of issues. Certainly, we had a large number of people that were laid off or furloughed at the beginning of the pandemic. We saw things to start to open up last summer, but then last fall again, we saw indoor shutdowns again. As a result, we saw some people that left the industry permanently.
There's some fear to come back to work, whether they themselves might be immunocompromised or they're just unsure, what it's like to work in a restaurant in the age of COVID.
We're hearing problems with childcare. We're also trying to hire tens of thousands of people all at the same time.
I know there's thoughts that it's about making more by not coming back to work. I've heard people say that on the unemployment. I'm sure that differs for a lot of restaurants.
Honestly, that is one factor. If folks are getting paid not to work, they're maybe taking their time and deciding, do I want to work here? Do I want to work there? Maybe I'll wait till I get vaccinated. So it's certainly one factor in all that. It's something that I've heard widely from restaurateurs because they've heard that from employees directly. A couple of restaurant groups have said they've had 5-day job fairs and not one person has come. And this is in varying parts of the state. I've heard people that have hired employees and then they don't show up for their first day at work, or they quit very quickly after they come back to work. So we're starting to see restaurants do things like hiring bonuses. In some cases, People are giving bonuses just for somebody to show up to the interview, and certainly retention bonuses. We're also looking at additional benefits. We're looking at changing pay models so that there's less disparity between the front of the house and the back of the house. Some restaurants are adding additional service charges so that they can pay their folks more. Remember, this is an industry that typically runs on very low profit margins, 3 to 5% on average. So now this is one additional cost on top of other costs that we've seen, like food costs have gone up over the last year. We've seen gloves and other personal protective equipment prices go up.
Keep eating out. That is the number one thing that if you feel comfortable and you're ready to celebrate and you're ready to jump into that part of your life again, please continue to patronize independent restaurants. We need people to keep coming in the door, and it makes us so happy to have you all back in our doors as well.